Hey guys, welcome back to another Daily Dose of Dunn. Today's episode, comparison is a thief of all joy. Let me ask you something. How many times have you opened up social media feeling perfectly fine and closed it feeling like you're behind, feeling depressed, feeling sad, feeling sluggish, feeling like you're behind in life, like you're behind in money, like you're behind in success, maybe behind in your dreams? See, nothing about your life changed except what you looked at, and that's the trap. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And social media has become the world's largest comparison machine joy trap. It convinces ordinary people that they're failing because they're comparing their real life to someone else's highlight reel. So you see the Lamborghini, but not the loan, not the upkeep of that, not when things go wrong. You see the mansion, but not the loneliness. You might see the private jet, but not the panic attacks when they get that first bill and they have to pay for things. You'll see the smile, but not the antidepressants. See, everyone is selling their best 5 seconds of their entire life, while you're judging yourself by every second of yours. And that's not a fair fight. You see, we've been tricked into believing success has a certain look, a certain car, a certain watch, a certain body. Who decided that? Because I promise you, some of the richest people on earth are also some of the most unhappiest. They bought the mansion, and it did make them feel happy. For about a month. They did buy the Ferrari, and it felt incredible until their neighbor bought a McLaren. Then they bought a yacht. Then they bought a bigger yacht. Then they bought a vacation home, and then the private island. And, not because they needed them, but because dopamine doesn't last. The shiny toy always becomes tomorrow's ordinary possession. The excitement fades. The novelty disappears. The chase begins again. See, you don't need another toy. You need a deeper purpose. Because here's the truth. If your unhappiness, or I should say, if your happiness is depending on you buying the next thing, you'll never own enough to feel enough. The most expensive prison in the world is needing everyone else's approval. And think about that. How many people are drowning in debt? They're driving cars they shouldn't be driving, that they can't afford, just to impress people that they don't even like. They're buying designer clothes to impress and be flashy and just to impress strangers that aren't even paying attention to them. They're not even getting a compliment. They don't even notice you're wearing that, but you just spent your whole paycheck on it. They're working 80 hours a week to buy things that they're too busy working to actually enjoy. That's not freedom. That's slavery with leather seats. See, here's another reality. The people you're trying to impress probably aren't even thinking about you. Everyone is so busy in their own bubble, worrying about themselves, self-absorbed. They don't got time to be thinking about you. They're worried about what everyone's thinking about them. And nobody has time to think about you. So let that sink in. Don't sacrifice your money, your time. Don't sacrifice your peace for an audience that isn't even watching. And let's talk about something else. The people who seem to have the perfect life online, you already know that's not true. Very few people are actually living that reality. They don't always have the perfect life offline. Because money can buy comfort, right? But it cannot buy contentment. It can buy a bigger house, but it can't guarantee that that house is going to be a happier home. It can buy the best doctor in the world, but it can't guarantee you more time. Money can buy an audience, but it can't buy real friends. See, that's the most important part, I think. When the money disappears, when the parties stop, when the alcohol runs dry, when the drugs are gone, many of those people that are called friends, they disappear too. Because they weren't there for the person. They weren't there for you. They were there for the experience that you provided. They were there for the fun. They don't care that it was you or anybody else. They would have went to any party as long as that was what was happening. They loved what was being provided, not who was providing it. And that's the painful lesson. But it's one far too many people learn too late. See, real wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by who's still standing beside you when you have nothing left to offer, when you hit rock bottom, when you have nothing else going for you. The greatest luxury isn't a Rolex, it's peace. It's waking up without anxiety. The more things you own, the more anxious you are because more things can be taken from you and it just sucks. It's really about laughing until your stomach hurts with the people that you love. It's having parents you can still hug, children who still want to spend time with you, friends who show up even when there's nothing to gain, just to hang it with you, just to kick it with you, just to watch some TV with you or just chat with you. Now, those moments, those will never go out of style. Now, here's a question. When you're 80 years old, do you think you'll remember that iPhone that you bought back in 2018 or 2020 or 2026? Or are you going to remember that conversation you had with grandma? You think you're going to remember the nice fancy rims that you got on your car? Or are you going to remember the time that your child scored their first goal? See, memories pay dividends forever. Stuff usually ends up at a garage sale. And that's what I learned. I was buying all the fun, shiny things, and it just didn't fulfill me. It was just in the moment, and then it was gone, and now it's just clutter. So instead of asking, why don't I have what they have? Start asking, what do I already have that someone else would give anything for? A healthy body? Millions don't. Are your parents still alive? Millions aren't. Do you have food in your refrigerator? Millions don't. The ability to walk? Millions can't. See, perspective changes everything. There's someone out there that would trade places with you in a heartbeat without even thinking twice. So while you're busy wishing for their life, sadly, or interestingly enough, they're probably praying for yours. See, comparison doesn't create gratitude, it destroys it. So run your race, build your future, invest your money, create financial freedom. Not so strangers will applaud you and expect you to buy them drinks and bottle service and gifts and take them to fancy dinners. Do it so that your family gets more of you. Retire early if you can. Start the business. Take the risk. Create the life you actually want, not the one social media told you to want. Because success without peace is failure wearing a nicer suit. At the end of your life, nobody's going to count your followers. Nobody's going to count your cars. What they're going to remember is how you made them feel, how often you showed up, how deeply you loved, how courageously you lived. Did you take risks? Were you a go-getter? That's the person that they're going to remember. That's the person that they're going to aspire to be. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Gratitude is how you steal it back. Now, if this message helped you or helped your perspective, share it with someone. Share it with somebody who needs to hear it, or just come back and watch it again yourself if you like. Because sometimes the richest people look surprisingly simple. You've probably seen that. They'll drive inexpensive cars and don't look too fancy. They have basic clothes because it's simpler that way. And sometimes the happiest person in the room is actually just the one who stopped comparing themselves a long time ago. So, food for thought. Think about it, but I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for joining me.